Hello everyone. Welcome back to Weekly Korean Live class. My name is Keijun. 안녕하세요, 케이준입니다. And 안녕하세요, 침침입니다. Cute. And thank you so much for joining today's class too. Today we are going to talk about yes, the past perfect tense in Korean. It's not very difficult, so please keep watching this video because I'm sure you can learn it. And this is actually intermediate grammar, so if you are an absolute beginner, I think it's a good opportunity for you to see what kind of grammar you are going to learn in the future. And if you can understand today, wow, your life will be much easier. And 안녕하세요, 코아티, 크리스, 프리야, 아얀, and 수미, and 부산 브릿, 섭닐, 에밀리, 베로닉, 클라우든, 아얀. Woo, we have all our regular students. How are you? It's so good? Wow, time flies. It's September. And it's getting cooler and cooler. We learned at the beginning of this month the expression, right? 점점 선선해져요. 점점 선선해져요. What does it mean? Anyone remember? 점점 선선해져요. It means it is getting cooler and cooler. Yes, because 가을, autumn is coming. 가을이 오고 있어요. 가을이 오고 있어요. So, 수고합시다. Learn Japanese and Sarah, Samantha, Mansha, Kimana, MY, Woo, and Ben, Vilsa, Nikhil, S the Great, and Keleboge, wow, and Piyush. 네네, okay, great. I'm so happy to see all of you guys today. So let's start our lesson. But as usual, before starting our lesson, I have 공지사항, right? These days, I try to use this word. 공지사항. It means announcement. What is announcement? Do you see the banner here? Yes, if you see the banner, test your Korean. What is your Korean level? Do you know that, by the way? If you don't know, we prepared a special page for you to test yourself, test your Korean level. So if you click the link in the description, I'll show you the page directly. So the page looks like this. So this is available for free. So if you are a KoreanClass101.com member, yes, the point is you have to be the member of Korean Class 101. And if you are the member, so yeah, this is how you can get the free Korean assessment. And if you are the member, yeah, here finally. You see the button, right? Start test. Yes. So see what is your score, and please let me know what is your score in the comment. I'm so curious. By the way, don't take the test yet because we have to study grammar. Very important Korean grammar together. So take the test after this lesson. Maybe this lesson will be helpful for this test too. Maybe. Okay, so check out this. So let's start today's lesson. Yes, I already prepared lots of text. But don't worry, it's not hard. You are very smart and I'm sure you will understand that. So today's Korean grammar is past perfect tense. It's at, 엇, 었어요. It's like a tongue twister for you, right? Oh, and me, this is your first live. I hope you will enjoy that. By the way, this is intermediate grammar. Intermediate grammar. But don't worry, it's not very difficult. Maharavi, I'm glad to see you again too. So, what is at, 엇, 였었다? By the way, here I'm using 었었어요. I use the 요 form, right? 어요. But now I'm using 다. So what's the difference? If you've been following my lesson, you probably noticed that 다 is basically the root form. You are going to use this form when you conjugate with other verb or expressions, but don't worry about that. Today I'm going to focus on this 어요 because this is a spoken form. I'm sure when you learn Korean and you want to be fluent speaking in Korean, right? So let's focus on the speaking form. But please remember this is the basic form, the root and dictionary form. So today, let's focus on this. But I just use the basic form just in case you are intermediate learners or upper intermediate learners. You know how to conjugate. You know how to use this form. So I try to use some form that are useful for many people. Okay, quality. Exactly. Your form is always safe because it's polite. Channel TV. You're from Nepal. We have many students from all over the world addict to Korea. Yay! And wondering, so hello. Okay, so what is this 었었어요? And what is this Korean past perfect tense? I couldn't find the exact super accurate English translation, so I'm using this term past perfect tense. But it's actually different from English one, so pay attention to it. So basically, 었었어요 is a sentence ending of a past event. So it's one kind of past tense. Yes, this is the past tense. But the big difference is disconnected from the present. That's the point. So if you're a beginner, actually you can use the past tense. What is the past tense? Without ot, this is a past tense. So we are just putting one more ot here. So it makes past tense. So it's disconnected from the present tense. So let me show you what it's like. So think about our past tense. So for example, I have this one. 갔어요. This is just normal past tense. So for example, 침침 went to Korea. 침침이가 한국에 갔어요. So let me write it here. 침침이가 한국에 갔어요. This is a past tense, by the way, past tense. And don't worry about this conjugation because I'm going to introduce it very soon. But let's first understand the meaning. So 침침이가 한국에 갔어요. It means 침침 went to Korea. 침침 is just a name. 가 is subject marking particle. 한국 is the name of the country. South Korea. 에 is like to. So 갔어요 means went. It's a past tense. So 침침 went to South Korea. So the action happened in the past and maybe it ended in the past. Or maybe this is kind of connected to present right now. So 침침 went to Korea and maybe 침침 is still in Korea. I don't know. In the past tense, it doesn't have the nuance. It only went in the past. So it's possibly he's still in Korea or he went to Korea but came back. But we don't know. We will know that in the context. But please remember that this normal present tense is very possible that it ended in the past or present. Only focus is it just happened in the past. I don't know if it's connected to the present or not. That's the past tense. Past tense doesn't have any nuance. Just something happened in the past. That's it. But if I put one more 갔었어요 as this past perfect tense, what happens is the action ended in the past. It's nothing to do with present tense. So in present, right now, the situation is different. Something happened in the past and something ended in the past. Something completed in the past. So it's not related to the present. It's not connected to the present. So 침침 went to Korea. 침침이가 한국에 갔었어요. It means 침침 went to Korea. But he's not in Korea anymore. So it just happened, and that action, there's nothing to do with the present. Does it make sense? Bariavi, please repeat this. Of course. So there are two actions. So 침침이가 한국에 갔어요. 침침이가 한국에 갔어요. It means 침침 went to Korea. The action happened in Korea. In the past. The action happened in the past. And maybe the status of being in Korea is still continued to present right now. So maybe 침침 is still in Korea. I don't know. By looking at this text, I don't know if 침침 is still in Korea or 침침 came back to home. I don't know. Because it doesn't have any context. In the past tense, the focus is something happened in the past. I don't know what happened next. Just something happened in the past. But if I put 었어요, 침침이가 한국에 갔었어요, that means it's clearly that action happened in the past and ended in the past. So it's nothing to do with present. It's not related to that. The past doesn't affect the present. Right now, it doesn't affect. So 침침 went to Korea and the status of going to Korea is already ended. So he went back home. He's not in Korea anymore. So that's not affecting the present. So I'll introduce you more examples so you will understand more. Because with just one example, maybe you will be still confused. So I prepared a lot of examples. So please keep watching this. Where is Chimchim today? Chimchim is here behind this graphic. Behind this graphic. So study hard. Chimchim is looking at you behind this graphic. Emily, this is interesting. It is. And Kylon, Francois, Mikel, and Jehallen, and Jutili, Erickson, woo, Rosemary, Dill, and Mary Jane, Nomi. Yes, I'm glad many people are also learning from Facebook too. Okay, so let's look at the conjugation now. The formulation is super duper simple. So stem of the verb or adjective, at, ot, 옅. You have to choose one of these, at or ot or 옅, and put 없다. Or 없다, as I said, this is kind of root form. So in the spoken form is 었어요, polite spoken form. So for example, I prepare this. 었었다. Let's use 었었다 example. So, I have this verb. It means to live. I live in Korea. I live in the United States. I live in India. I live in the Philippines. So you live in a country, right? 살다. And the formation says stem of the verb or adjective. Okay, this is verb. So what is the stem? Stem is super simple. All the Korean verb or adjective end with 다 in the dictionary. So look at the dictionary. You find any verb or adjective that ends with 다, and remove 다 at the end. Then you only have 살, right? That's the stem. Again, the verb or adjective without 다 is the stem. Without 다, without. That's the point. Remove 다 and without 다 is the stem. So 살. Let's see. So final vowel of the stem includes a or o. 살. It includes the a sound, right? 살. So this is the final vowel of the stem includes the a sound. Aha. So since it has a sound, I'm choosing at. So 었었다. Oops. 었었다. But let me change to spoken. 살았어요. 살았었어요. So for example, 한국에 this means I lived in Korea. I used to live in Korea. I don't live in Korea anymore because that action happened in the past and it doesn't affect present now. It's disconnected. It's nothing to do with it. I don't live in Korea anymore. So 한국에 살았어요. 살았었어요. 한국에 살았었어요. 살았었어요. It's clearly I'm not living in Korea anymore. 한국에 살았었어요. Do you see the nuance here? So if I just say the past tense, 한국에 살았어요, it means I lived in Korea. It doesn't have any nuance. In the past, I lived in Korea. That's it. It doesn't have any nuance. But if you put 살았었어요, then you have the nuance. Oh, in the past, I lived in Korea and that action ended. I don't live in Korea anymore. So if you're a beginner, actually you can just use this past tense. Past tense doesn't have any nuance, so you can use it more broadly, more widely, in more situations. But if you become an intermediate learner, you want to play with some nuance, right? You want to deliver your intention more accurately. That's why you need this grammar. You give some nuance, like, oh, I don't live in Korea anymore. This is nothing to do with the present, and the situation is different now. So the meaning can be sometimes same, but it has the nuance. It's like, oh, things are different now. Not anymore. Things are different. That's the nuance of this. Very good. I see the great 나두니 and 김하나. 살았어요 and 살았었어요. 살았었어요. Ooh. Emily, so it's kind of like used to in English. Yes, that's right. It's kind of like used to, and also past perfect tense. Even in English, there is a past and something ended before the past, right? So it's not exactly the same in Korean, but it's like what we want to say, some action ended before, much before in the past. The action doesn't affect my current life. Not anymore. Things are different. That's the nuance. And let's see another verb that I prepared. Next one is 오다. It means to come. So, now I need to get the stem. What is the stem? The verb or adjective without 다, right? So I remove 다. 오 is the stem. So now since 오 include the O sound clearly, the final vowel of the stem include the O sound, I'm going to use 었었다. 오았었다. Grammatically correct, but when you pronounce 오았었다 quickly, it becomes 오았었다. So it becomes 왔었다. 왔었다. If you want to say this in a spoken form, is 었었어요. Oops. 었었어요. By the way, nobody said 었었어요 in Korea because we have the simple form. Why do we use the simpler and easier and shortened form? So I never seen Korean people using this form, but I just want to explain how it become 왔었다 and 왔었어요. I just want to show you how this happened. So 왔었어요. So for example, my example is 침침이가 우리 집에 왔었어요. Let's start with the past tense, by the way. Oh, Swapnil, that's a good question. What does this mean? So let's start with this. Past tense. This is a past tense, right? Without ot is a past tense. So 침침이가 우리 집에 왔어요. 침침 is the name. 가 subject marking particle. 우리 집 means my house, my home, my place. 에 is like to. 왔어요 means came. It's a past tense. So it literally means 침침 came to my place. 침침 came to my place. 침침 came to my house, my home. So 침침이가 우리 집에 왔어요. So it happens in the past. It happened in the past. Maybe 침침 is still in my place. I don't know, because in this past tense it doesn't have any indication. It doesn't have nuance. Only thing that I'm talking about is 침침 came to my place. I don't know if he left or not. I have no idea from the past tense. But if I use this form, 었었어요, the past perfect tense in Korean, it clearly means that the things are different now. So 침침 came to my place, but things are different. Things are different. So 침침 is not in my place anymore. Does it make sense? 침침이가 우리 집에 왔었어요. So the action, 침침 came to our place, but the action ended. And actually, Manasa, that was a good question. I saw your question and I'm explaining right now. So 침침 came to our place and that action ended, which means that doesn't affect my life right now. It's nothing to do with it. 침침 came to our place, but that action ended. So 침침 came back. 침침 came back, went back his place. Went back to his place. So the difference, 왔어요 means maybe 침침 is in my place too. Because the past tense can be still connected to the present, my current life. But if I put the past perfect tense, 우리 집에 왔었어요, that action doesn't affect my life anymore. So 침침 came to our place, but he went back. It's nothing to do with my life. It's not anymore. He's like nothing. 왔었어요. Makes sense? So let's practice more. I have more and more examples. So let me move this formation to, below 2. 짠, I have more examples. So for example, this. So next example that I have is 먹다, meaning to eat. Yum, 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 yum. To eat, 먹다. Okay, so let's get the stem. Now stem is easy, right? Just remove 다. You have 먹, 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 먹. It has the O sound, right? 먹, the final vowel of the stem. So the vowel sound, the final vowel, the final stem, final syllable of the stem doesn't include A or O sound, right? Because it includes the O sound, O sound. So I'm going to use 짜자잔, 먹었었다, 먹었었다. Or if I want to change it to spoken form, 먹었었어요. Tongue twister. 먹었었어요. This is how you conjugate it. So let's see. So 고기를 먹었었어요. So let's compare with the past tense. 짠. 고기를 먹었어요. 저는 means I. 고기 means meat like beef, pork, chicken. 고기 meat를 object marking particle. 먹었어요. It means I ate meat. That's it. In the past tense, it doesn't have nuance. In the past, I just ate meat. But what happens if I say 먹었었어요 with the past perfect tense? 저는 고기를 먹었었어요. So I ate the meat in the past. But that past doesn't connect it to my life anymore, which means things are different now. I don't eat meat anymore. I'm different now. Things are different. The situation changes. Situation is different. I don't eat meat anymore. Maybe I'm vegetarian now, so I don't eat anymore. So in the past, I used to eat meat. So it can be translated used to too. I used to eat meat. But if I say 저는 고기를 먹었었어요, it means I used to eat meat. But if you say 저는 고기를 먹었어요, it means maybe I still eat meat sometimes now. If I use the past tense. But the thing is, I ate it in the past. That's it. It doesn't have any nuance. In the past, I ate meat. But if you say 저는 고기를 먹었었어요, it clearly say that I used to eat meat. Not anymore. Things are different. And let's try this. 읽다 means to read. You read a book. You read. And let's get the stem. It's ik. This has the e sound. It doesn't include a or o sound. So I'm going to use 었어요. 었었어요. So I can use 었었다, but I want to use the spoken form. So the spoken form is 었었어요. Okay, so let's try this. 저는 신문을 읽었었어요. So 저는 I 신문 newspaper. And 읽었었어요. 신문 is usually newspaper, the physical stuff. Physical newspaper. 읽었었어요. So I read newspaper. But since there are two there is 읽었었어요. Now you can guess that, right? I used to read the newspaper. But not anymore. Because I watch news on YouTube. So I don't read newspaper anymore. So this has this nuance. If I just put the past tense, 푸파뉴, that's a good question. 을 is also object marking particle. So making 신문 is object of the sentence. Yeah. So it means I just read newspaper. If I use the past tense, it means I read the newspaper. Okay. Maybe I read the newspaper this morning and I read it tomorrow too. Yeah. It doesn't have any nuance. The only thing is I just read it. That's it. But if I use the past perfect tense, things are different now. The situation changes. The situation is different now. I don't read newspaper anymore. I used to read newspaper. Does it make sense? So sometimes it is translated as used to. So the point is, I don't do that action anymore, or the thing happened in past doesn't affect my present. That's why it's the intermediate grammar. It has some kind of nuance. But without this past perfect tense, you can still communicate with the Korean people and you can still survive in Korea. That's why it's not a basic beginner grammar. Intermediate learners are intermediate learners. Intermediate. So they need some nuance, advanced nuance. Now let's try to use the 였었다. Usually when it's 하다 verb, when a verb stem ends with 하다, then you use 였었다 with the stem. 안녕하세요, 마롤린. Right, Jalen. Yes, Korean is hard to make a sentence at the beginning, but once you get used to it, you can do it. I saw a lot of Korean students who were struggling at the beginning, but they improved a lot. This grammar is same as 저기 있다. It's different. 저기 있다, I have experience. So when you talk about, you know what? I traveled to Korea. Or, you know what? I tried Korean ice cream. Then you talk about your experience, right? You know I have experience of something. That is 저기 있다. But 었었다 means something happened in the past, but things are different. Things are changes. I don't do it anymore. It has different nuance. It's like I used to. So let's try to use this. 청소. We use this. Just remove 다 and put 청소하였었다. But you know what? Korean people love shortening, as I said. Nikhil, I know it's getting interesting. Korean people love shortening. So what happened is 청소하였었다 become 청소하였었다 해. So it just become 했었다. And 청소하였었다 is grammatically totally correct. But you know, we have the shortened form. So there is no reason to use the long form. I sometimes see some people using this 하였었다, 하였 form, but I think it's like 1%. If Korean people use like 100 sentences, maybe one sentence use this. It's not common, but het is much more common. So it's shortened as this. And again, 었었다 is a written form and we don't really use it when we speak. So let's change it to spoken form because this is more useful, especially for Korean learners. So 청소했었어요. Then let's see some nuance. So 매일 청소했었어요. 매일 청소했었어요. By the way, 청소하다. It means to clean. You clean the house. Clean. Yes. And thirsty. Welcome. Thank you for joining too. 매일 청소했었어요. 매일 means every day. And 청소했었어요 means I cleaned. Or you can also translate it as I used to clean every day. Then now you understand it, right? Claudon, exactly. I used to clean every day, but I don't do it anymore. Exactly. Very good. So if I say 매일 청소했어요. it doesn't have any nuance. So I cleaned every day. I don't know. Maybe I do it tomorrow too. I don't know. I have no idea because 청소했어요 doesn't have any nuance. It's just past tense. I cleaned in the past. But 청소했었어요. Oops. It clearly means that 청소했었어요. It clearly means that I used to clean, but I don't do it anymore. Things are different. The situation changes. And Ayan, do you need to use you for every situation? That's a good question. You can remove you if you talk to your friends. Because this is a casual form. But if you put you, that's politer. And I strongly recommend you to learn Korean with your form, especially if you're a beginner, because this is polite. Polite. So if you made Korean for the first time and you suddenly use this form, 청소했었어. Korean people are like, why are you being so rude to me? Hey, being polite to me. Why are you looking down on me? Some Korean people might feel that way, so put you. Then they think, oh, this person is polite, using very polite language. Oops, Mr. Teddy 담배 했었어요. So actually we use 담배를 피우다. So 담배를 피웠었어요. I used to smoke, but not anymore. The situation is different. Things change. It doesn't affect my current my lifestyle because I don't do it anymore. And now you can change this, right? 운동하다 is 운동했었어요. How about this? 저 헬스장에서 운동했었어요. Let's compare with the present tense first. 저 헬스장, 저 means that, and 헬스장 means gym. So 에서 is location marking particle. It means like in or at. So at that gym or in that gym, 운동했어요. I exercised. Maybe this morning I exercised in that gym. So I was walking with Chim and I saw that gym. Oh, Chim, you know what? This morning I exercised in that gym. So if I use the past tense, maybe it still affect my life. So I still go to that gym. I'll go tomorrow too. But if you used this 운동했었어요, it clearly means that I don't go to that the gym anymore. So I used to exercise in that gym. 저 헬스장에서 운동했었어요. So it can be translated as used to, but not always. So for example, 침침이가 우리 집에 왔었어요. 침침이가 It doesn't mean that 침침 used to come to our place. It doesn't mean that used to come to our place. Well, it can mean that. It can mean 왔었어요 means it can mean used to, but it also has 침침 is not in my place anymore. Not in my place anymore. Because it doesn't affect, it's disconnected. So in many cases, it's translated into used to, but especially the verb like 오다 or 가다, 오다 to come, 가다 to go, it just means that the person is not in the place anymore. Okay, so I already compared this past tense and perfect tense many times. So let's quickly review. 결혼하다. The past tense of 결혼하다, by the way, 결혼하다 means to marry. So 결혼했다. or 결혼했어요. Let's use the spoken form. And past perfect tense 결혼했었어요. So 결혼했어요. So for example, 침침이는 결혼했어요. It means 침침 married and 침침 is still married. 침침 is married. So 침침 is not single. 침침 is married, still married. 결혼했어요 because in Korean 결혼하다 means it's a verb. So it's an action. 딴딴따란 딴딴따란. So 침침 did 딴따란 딴딴따란. So he did the wedding ceremony. So he married and still married. But 결혼했었어요. It means 침침 used to married. 침침 married before, not anymore. 침침 is single. 침침 is maybe divorced. So 침침 is 침침 is single now. 침침 is not married. Does it make sense? So 결혼해서 it happened in the past. It's highly possible it also affect my current life. It actually depends on the context. So you have to see the context very well. So 결혼했어요. It means it's just married in the past. So maybe divorce or I don't know. But in many cases, if you just say 결혼했어요, we commonly think, the status of being married still continued up to now. But 결혼했었어요. The status of being married is done. It's not anymore. Things are changes. It's different. Poor 침침. Not anymore. 침침 is not married anymore. And 가다, I already talked about it a lot too. 갔어요 means 침침 went to school. 침침 went to school. 갔었어요. So 갔어요 means 침침 went to school. Maybe 침침 is still in school. I don't know. The point is 침침 went to school and maybe he came back. Maybe he's not. I need to see more context. Maybe more dialogue or I need to see the context. But 갔었어요. Clearly 침침 is not in school anymore. 갔었어요. Because that action of going to school is disconnected from the present. Okay. So, does it make sense? This is intermediate grammar, so maybe for absolute beginners, it's not very easy, but don't worry. If you're a beginner, focus on this past tense. Because in the context, many Korean people will understand that. But if you are an intermediate learner, give some nuance. Because that is advanced Korean sentences. Nikki, I did not know how to build this form. It is easy to understand. I'm glad to hear that. Exactly, Bonnie. You can use also the party. 파티에 갔어요. 파티에 갔었어요. What's the difference? So, you're asking me, like, where is 침침? I don't see 침침. And I said, 파티에 갔어요. 파티에 갔어요 means, 침침 went to the party. And he's in the still in the party. In the context, you can read it, right? Where is 침침? Where is 침침? So I say 파티에 갔어요. 침침 went to the party. 침침 is still in the party. But and 침침 is next to me like this. And 침침 is you are asking, 침침, what did you do? And 침침 said 파티에 갔었어요. 침침 went to the party and came back. It's nothing to do with the present tense. Not present tense, present situation. I learned Japanese. Thank you very much for your donation. And Michelle, yes, it's disconnected from the present. Yes, the point is, this is a sentence ending of a past tense that is disconnected from the present. So the situation is different now. I don't do that action anymore, or the action happened in the past doesn't affect my life right now. So it just happened in the past. That action happened in the past and it completed in the past. It's nothing to do with present now. That's the point. And Emily, thank you very much. I'm so happy to hear that. I feel so lucky to have these awesome students too. I really enjoy talking to you and everyone every week. And Bahalari, yes, please join in next week too. Next week, I'm going to focus on informal Korean. Of course, I'll introduce some sentence patterns and grammar with some expressions and some words and phrases. So please join it. It will be September 22, 1 p.m. in Korean time. Yes, Korean time. Korean time. Which means the time will be different in your country. Yes. And if you want to practice more Korean, I have homework for you. So can you conjugate this with at, us, yes, 었어요 or 했었어요. You know, this one is only used for 하다 verb, so it can be 했었어요. Ooh, Tiku, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. I'm so happy to hear that. Really, really happy. And 예쁜 수지 감사합니다. And 수미, oh, I'm so happy. 감사합니다. I'm lucky too. 감사합니다. So please conjugate it with this form and leave a comment on YouTube and Facebook on KoreanClass101.com channels. And if you personally want me to check, please tag my name on Instagram story. If you don't tag me, I cannot see that. And I'll try to check your story and repost it on my Instagram with a correction if you want. 감사합니다. And thank you so much. 감사합니다. So next week, let's learn more Korean expressions and grammar, everything. So let's talk again next week. 감사합니다. 다음 주에 봐요. 네, see you next week. Bye bye. 가일론, 록시, 버나뎃, and 카사쿠라, and 예쁜 수지, 에시 더 그레이트, 레네, 만지리, and 수미, and 코아티 learn Japanese, Michelle. 짜잔, Jack.